This was as cold a morning as there's been this year when I rode my bike down to church. And when I got out and got pedaling and the cold hit my eyes, the tears started pouring out. I started weeping. And not in a modest way. I was having a big reaction. This is what the kids call ugly crying, and the tears came down and froze in my beard as I made my way down the hill, and it felt fitting to be weeping on this day. It felt fitting to be weeping in this moment. I wrote a few weeks ago in Grace Notes about how I'm kind of no good at hot takes. Like something happens and there's this expectation in the internet era that you're immediately going to have something profound to say, and I just never do. I mean, maybe once in a while, but it's an outlier when that experience happens. I want to go away and think about stuff and speak to other folks. I know a lot of folks have gotten in trouble by immediately sharing a hot take on Twitter or whatever the equivalent of Twitter is now. They post it and try to delete it, but no one will let them delete it. So you both have this immediacy, and then you have to live with those words forever. None of us can take Ann Lander's old and excellent advice anymore, that if you're mad at your friend, you should write a letter and then not send it. They had, in Ann Lander's time, they had the advantage that the post office box was something you had to walk to. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about the excruciating news coming out of Minnesota and the excruciating news in our country more broadly. I was speaking with a friend, another clergy colleague last night, and she says, all I know in this moment is the cross. That's the only thing I can point at. If I speak up, I'm going to say something half-baked or foolish, but I can point at the cross, and that says what we need. Because of the time and place where this building that we're in right now was built, we've talked about this before. The family albums are up on the wall. There's the story of faith up on the wall. All these major events in Jesus' life, but oddly, we go directly from Gethsemane to resurrection. We skip over the cross. There was something back in the 20s and 30s that Anglicans found or Episcopalians found embarrassing or untoward about depicting the cross. There is a cross in this space. It is conspicuously removable, but there is the one. And there's moments in our lives when we stand at the foot of the cross, and perhaps that's what we're doing right now as a nation, standing at the foot of the cross and weeping like you're out in the cold on a bicycle. I'm glad to be standing at the foot of the cross with you. It's early in the morning, and the sun has not yet risen. And old man Zebedee is out on the lake. Zebedee has always liked the mornings. He says early before the sun rises, the fish are still sleepy. They have not yet been spooked by the busyness of the day. And so out he sails. He is by himself in the cold. And he goes and finds the spot where he will fish. Pulls down the sail, and he digs out his net. Oftentimes, other fisher people will ask him, how do you know? How do you know where to fish? Some people say that what we call intuition is actually deep expertise. And when Zebedee stops in the right place, he is actually picking up on subtle tells in the lake. A little motion in the surface of the water, some color that is different in the moonlight, perhaps even bubbles rising. Who knows? When people ask him, how do you know where to stop and where to fish? He says, I just do. He casts the net over the side. He used to wear gloves while doing this work, but he doesn't wear them anymore. They've been gone for years. His hands are calloused and thick now from years of water and sun and rope. Sometimes at the end of the day, when they're all gathered around the campfire, a child will come up to Zebedee and ask him if he's willing to hold a coal from the fire in his hands. And sometimes Zebedee will say yes. He will hold it. His hand is like a burning bush, burning but not consumed. The children will shriek in horrified delight as they watch him hold the coal. And one of them perhaps will say, it's a miracle. And Zebedee will smile, and he will say, no. I've seen the one who did the miracles. This is not a miracle. This is just my hand. And then he will place the coal back into the fire, and his smile will turn a little sadder. Zebedee was not supposed to be by himself on the lake this day or any day. This was not the plan. He was supposed to be here with his sons. Starting when they were tiny, he brought them out in the boat. The boys could swim before they could walk. And he showed both of them, all of the things you need to know to fish, just as his father had shown him. And before that, his father had shown him. There's this line of parents teaching children receding into the past, like waves lapping on the side of the shore. This pattern was supposed to continue into the future. He showed the boys how to use an oar. He showed them how to tie knots. He showed them how to use a knife to clean the fish. The knife, when you become skilled, becoming like an extension of your hand. And they learned. They were naive, but eager. And they learned from him. Zebedee remembers the day that the man came. The boys were grown up, barely, and it was late in the afternoon. It had been a good day of fishing, and they were near the shore mending the net. And the man came, and he said, "Follow me." And the boys jumped out of the boat, earnest again and enthusiastic, and they started running like they were children at a birthday party and cake was being served. They did not look back at Zebedee. In the years that followed, the 3 years that followed, Zebedee heard occasionally where the boys were. And so he would tie up his boat and go and find the crowds with the man at the center. He would join in with the crowd for a while and partake of the meal, a meal that began in scarcity and always ended in plenty. He would listen to the strange stories the man told, stories that were confusing and beautiful and strange and liberating. He would watch as people were healed, watch the miracles. Occasionally he would see the boys and they would talk for a while. Perhaps they would embrace. And for a moment or two, the demons were cast out. But then the boys would turn and run back. There was always some new place for them to be. It seemed like his boys were always running away from him. In one of these visits, the boys came to him with excitement, with enthusiasm, with that old naivete, and said, he's going to let us sit on his right hand and his left. On this cold morning in the dark, Zebedee remembers the final time that he saw the two boys before they disappeared into the arbitrary bureaucratic violence of empire. And they said the strangest thing to him, a thing just as strange as what the man said in his stories. The boys said to their father, he's teaching us how to fish for people. And then they were gone. And here he is, alone, out on the lake, in the cold, fishing once more. The sun rises then and lights up the lake. This is what centuries after Zebedee's time, photographers and painters will call the golden hour. Everything is lit up with possibility. And Zebedee will remember. He will remember that final thing that his boys said to him. He's teaching us to fish for people. And he will wonder where they may be now. Is it possible that they are still alive and still at work? He has heard that some of the man's followers have traveled all over the world to tell the story. Is it possible that his boys are using the things that he taught them? Is it possible, he wonders in the first light, if somewhere the two of them are fishing still?